Nicholas with Mayberg Power Systems. Here we're looking at an Axopar 28. Cabin version with aft cabin. We're looking at an Axopar 28. This one happens to be cabin versions with enclosed pilot house with an aft cabin as well. So to look at the different devices that we have in here, we have the Balmar monitor. So this is going to show you what the overall charge or discharge is going to be going on with the lithium battery. So if the engine's running, it'll show how much the engines are putting in versus the unit taking out. So if the engines are outputting, let's say 25 amps a piece, so 50 amps total, and the AC unit's drawing 40 amps, it's going to show us a plus 10 that we're putting 10 amps into the batteries. If the engines are putting out 10 amps each, so a total of 20 amps, and the AC unit's drawing 40 amps, we're going to see a minus 20. Engines aren't running, it's going to show us what the AC unit's drawing, and if the AC unit's off and the engines are running, it'll show us what the engines are putting into the batteries. This particular boat, we have one vent over here at the helm. We have the AC thermostat against the wall over there. I'll show a little bit more about that, but here at the dash I wanted to go over some of the devices that we'll be looking at over there, as well as showing what the voltage of the lithium battery is through this Balmar SG200. We will also be able to see the voltage of 2 additional batteries. So we're tied into the 2 engine batteries to show what the voltage is on the 2 engine batteries as well. And what I'll do is I'm going to show you a little bit around. I'll bring you into the front cabin and show you a little bit of that as well. So looking over here at the port side, we have the AC control over here. We have the vent down over here. So this vent we've had before is rotatable. You can close it, you can move it around. And so this one is intended to blow into the aft cabin area when there's someone inhabiting that space, or it can be turned up to blow into the pilot house and put more air into this area. As far as the controls, so you'll see we have different modes in here. Here we're set for snowflake, so it's going to be our cool mode. When we have the sun, that's going to be the heat mode. And the green is going to be fan only the fan will be running. So you'll see that this little button isn't illuminated, so the unit isn't on right now. So I've just turned it on. We'll set it to cool. We'll set it to, say, 67. And so now we have air coming out of this vent over here, as well as air coming out of the vent over there. Come over here and look at the Balmar. See that the unit is currently drawing 6 amps. Now the compressor just kicked on, so it's going to increase. As we're looking at that going up, we're going to go and look at the unit or look at the location of the unit in the front, as well as looking overboard on the side to make sure that we're getting water coming out. So looking overboard, we can see water coming out. To give an idea of where that is, it's going to be just outside this pilot house door, so you can come right out of the port side of the boat. If you look down, you'll see the water coming out. Over here in the head, behind this partition, is where we have the AC unit installed. So here we're in the forward area in the head compartment, and I took up this access plate over here, and here we see our pump setup. valve over here, have our strainer, have our pump. With the pump, we have a purging system, so right over here. And then down here on the bottom, all we have to do is we have to just open this valve up if there's any air in the system. So if we look over the side and there's no water coming out, but you touch the pump and you feel it vibrating, that means it's on, it's working, but it's got an airlock. So all you're going to want to do is open this valve up, purge any air that's in the system, close the valve back up again. So we leave it a little loose so you can go straight into the bilge, or if you prefer to put a cup underneath and that way you're not getting water in the bilge, that's also a possibility or an option. 28, we open this bench up. So these pedestals that used to be mounted here, we mounted them on the top, on the cover that opens. You can see the Ram still handles the weight without any problems. Here we have our 2 lithium batteries. So these are 250 amp hours a piece. These 2 units, these 2 batteries will give this 12,000 BTU 12 volt on this boat 10 hours of runtime with no engines running. And just to look at a little bit of the other devices that we have in here. Here we have the smart shunt. So this is what the display in the cabin is reading from. Here we have a fuse for the DC to DC charger. This is on the negative side. This device over here is a Bluetooth gateway. So this allows us to view what's on the display in the cabin through a cell phone. You just have to download the Balmar app. That's B-A-L-M-A-R. It's called SmartLink. You download the app in the App Store, whether it be Google Play or Apple. Then we have here our DC to DC charger. So what this device does is it takes power from either the engine batteries or in this case, we're tying into the house battery since that's linked to both engine alternators. And we'll take the power from that battery when it's being charged to then charge the lithium batteries at a lithium charge rate. This charger is to charge the lithium batteries on shore power. So if you're connected to shore power, you have indefinite runtime. It's a Sterling Power 60 amp charger. And that basically covers everything over here in this forward area. So I'll close this back up again. Okay, we're looking at the helm. We have both engines off. The unit right now is drawing 33 amps. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the 2 engines running. We have port. We just got starboard. So I am in idle. .600 RPMs. And I'm now drawing a bit less. So I'm getting about 7.5 amps from each alternator right now. So it'll be dropping. I'll let it settle and get back to where we should settle out at. So I seem to have settled around 13, 14. So I'm really getting about, right now, we'll say about 10 amps per alternator. And so what I'm going to do is activate throttle only. And I'm going to bring the engines up to about 700. So I'm at 700 RPMs. So right now I'm maintaining the AC unit running, and I'm putting 6 amps into the battery. So at very low RPM, we're able to actually maintain the AC unit running. And I would like to clarify that we have the AC unit on right now. We know the AC unit is running. I'm sitting here at the helm. I have this vent blowing straight on me. It's actually really nice. The only thing that we have to do when leaving the boat is just going to be to come down over here
And we're gonna want to turn this off. So you're gonna see this little yellow piece come out of the bottom, and then that way the AC unit won't drain the lithium battery. If we keep that on, if we keep it activated, the control's still gonna pump some juice, and so you could come back to a dead battery. So it's always better to turn this off. Once again, unless you're connected to shore power. Secondary key point is this vent here and this vent here. We can rotate them, we can angle them. Please do not close either which one. If we close vents, I don't have enough airflow out of one vent, I will freeze up the air conditioner. So we have to maintain the vents always open for the proper functionality of the AC system in here. It is 12,000 BTUs, so we have to maintain the two vents open at all times.